feeling like you're wading through endless financial tips, but still don't really have a clear roadmap to building wealth, you're definitely not alone.
No.
It can be tough, right? To know where to even begin to create, well, real financial security for yourself.
It's so true. There's just so much information out there. And, a lot of it doesn't really give you the practical step you actually need.
Yeah.
For many people, the idea of being truly financially comfortable, it feels like a bit of a long shot.
Well, today we're diving deep into a really interesting set of ideas. We've been looking closely at 10 Things a Millionaire Told Me by Ken Wynn.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's full of what seems like very, very down-to-earth, actionable advice, stuff straight from people who've actually, built wealth.
Yeah. And what's really compelling about this source, I think, is that it's not just abstract financial theory.
Right.
It's based on the actual experiences and, well, the ways of thinking of millionaires. It's really about laying a strong foundation for your financial future.
Not chasing trends.
Exactly. Not about chasing those fleeting trends or those get-rich-quick schemes we see everywhere.
Exactly. So our goal today is to really unpack these key commandments, as Wynn calls them, and figure out what they mean for you, the listener, who's looking for a straightforward path forward. So what's the first principle he lays out?
Okay. So the very first thing Wynn emphasizes is the crucial importance of avoiding unnecessary debt.
Right.
He describes how easily we can get caught in that cycle, starting way back, in our college days, with all those credit card offers flying around.
Oh, man, I remember those. Suddenly you feel like you're an adult, right?
Yeah.
And these shiny cards show up, making it seem like you can buy anything you want.
Anything.
Yeah.
But Wynn really highlights the tricky cycle that starts, especially after you graduate and you feel like you need to buy all sorts of essential things for your new life.
Yeah, the pressure is on.
And what's fascinating here is how often marketing focuses our attention on those, low monthly payments rather than the actual total cost. That initial low interest rate, it can be so enticing that we don't really see the bigger financial picture, do we?
No, you don't. And then he talks about reverse compound interest, which is such a powerful way to think about debt.
It really is.
It's like the opposite of your savings growing over time. Your debt actually grows against you because of the compounding interest.
Right.
That can really just undermine your ability to build wealth, especially when you're just starting out.
Oh, absolutely. Imagine, taking on maybe $1,000 in credit card debt at, say, 20% interest.
Yeah.
If you only make minimum payments, you could end up paying way more than $1,000 over the years, and most of it just goes to interest, not the principal.
Exactly. So Wynn's guideline is pretty direct, isn't it?
It is. He says, if you can't pay for something within 2 months, unless it's a major purchase like a house or maybe a car, you should probably reconsider buying it.
That really forces you to think.
It does. Think about the true value versus the total cost.
And there's an action item connected to this first commandment. Think about what your personal strengths are and listen to The Richest Man in Babylon. What's the link there?
Well, reflecting on your strengths can help you pinpoint skills or maybe talents you can use to boost your income, which naturally reduces your need to rely on debt, right?
Makes sense.
And The Richest Man in Babylon, it's just a timeless book. It lays out these fundamental principles for saving and managing your money effectively, things which are essential for staying out of debt in the first place.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so commandment number 2. This is all about budgeting and really taking control of your finances. Sounds basic, maybe, but it's something many people really, really struggle with.
Absolutely. Wynn emphasizes that getting your financial life in order often means learning to say no.
The power of no.
Yes, even to things you might really want, or things you feel pressure from others to have. But he frames it positively. He points out that by practicing these principles, you not only reduce debt, but you also build this strong foundation of security.
Security.
Which can really protect you when, unexpected crises occur. Life happens.
Yeah, it does. One thing he really emphasizes here is the absolute necessity of hiring a good accountant.
Yes, for taxes.
To handle your taxes.
Oh.
He doesn't pull any punches about dealing with the IRS, does he?
No, not at all. He warns about the serious trouble you can get into if you mishandle your taxes.
Right.
He even mentions examples of professionals, otherwise successful people,
Right.
who ended up in serious legal and financial trouble because of tax mismanagement.
It's serious stuff.
And what's really important to understand here, he says, is the difference between, legally avoiding taxes through things like business ownership,
Right. Strategy.
and actively trying to evade them, which is obviously, a huge no-no.
Right.
Absolutely. He makes the point that understanding the tax landscape is just a critical part of managing your finances effectively.
So get help.
And seeking professional guidance is often the smartest investment you can make in that area.
Okay. And the action item for this commandment is to download and listen to Think and Grow Rich. How does that tie in with budgeting?
Well, Think and Grow Rich is all about developing a powerful mindset, isn't it? Focused on wealth creation.
Mm-hmm.
It encourages you to set clear financial goals, cultivate perseverance, and really believe in your own ability to achieve financial success.
That mental game.
Exactly. That kind of mental framework is crucial for sticking to a budget and making those smart long-term financial decisions.
All right, moving on to commandment number 3. Maximize your income right now. This sounds like a really proactive approach.
It absolutely is. Wynn introduces this idea of a financial opportunity window,
Okay.
stressing that our prime earning years are, well, limited.
Right.
He challenges the common idea that just having a job is enough to build wealth. He even uses that acronym, Joe B. Just over broke.
Ouch! Just over broke. It really makes you think, doesn't
it
it?
does.
A regular paycheck often just covers the bills, maybe a little more. Then he shifts to talking about the advantages of owning a business.
Yeah, and the key point he makes is how business owners can take advantage of legitimate tax deductions and prioritize paying themselves first. This really changes the financial picture compared to being an employee where, it often feels like everyone else gets paid before you do.
So true.
For instance, a business owner might be able to deduct certain business expenses, reducing their overall tax burden in a way that a traditional employee just can't.
He also makes a really strong point about what true financial risk is. He defines it as relying on only one single source of income.
Bingo.
He uses that old saying, dig your well before you are thirsty, highlighting the importance of creating multiple streams of income.
Yes, to protect yourself during economic downturns or, unexpected job loss.
That idea of having multiple income streams seems so critical, especially today.
It really is. It provides that safety net and can significantly accelerate your progress towards building wealth.
And the action item here is to start thinking about how you could potentially monetize your hobbies. And to buy his book, How to Buy Your Life Back. How does that help you maximize your income?
Well, turning your hobbies into income is a really practical way to begin building those additional income streams.
Using what you already like doing.
Exactly. It allows you to leverage skills and passions you already have. And his book, How to Buy Your Life Back, presumably offers strategies and guidance on how to identify and develop these income-generating opportunities more effectively.
Okay, commandment number 4 is simple but powerful. Save 10% of everything you earn.
Yes.
It sounds so straightforward, but it's surprising how many people don't manage to do this consistently.
Wynn actually calls it magical.
Yeah.
He really emphasizes the incredible power of compounding.
Right, that snowball effect.
Exactly. Even saving what seems like a small percentage consistently can grow into a really significant amount over time. He strongly recommends making the most of workplace savings plans.
Oh yeah, the 401k match.
Especially if your employer offers a matching contribution that's essentially free money. You should definitely take advantage of that if you can.
Absolutely. I really liked the little story he shared about teaching his kids how to manage money using 4 jars.
Oh, that's great.
One for spending, one for saving, one for charity, and one for long-term purchases. That's such a concrete and easy to understand way to teach financial literacy from a young age.
It's a fantastic example, isn't it? How to make these sometimes abstract financial concepts very real and understandable for children.
Totally.
It teaches them about different financial priorities and the importance of being patient and saving for future goals.
And the action item for this one takes us back to The Richest Man in Babylon again, and the 721 money management strategy. What's the basic idea behind that?
So the 721 strategy, generally, it refers to living on 70% of your income, saving 20%,
Okay.
and then allocating 10% towards maybe debt repayment or further investments. It's a fundamental framework to ensure you're not overspending and that you're consistently putting a significant chunk of your earnings towards building your future.
Got it. Okay, commandment number 5 focuses on your house. Using it as a foundation for wealth, not ATM.
Right, not just as a readily available source of cash like an ATM.
Yeah.
That's a really important distinction, isn't it? Especially since home equity can seem like such a tempting pot of money.
Oh, very tempting. Wynn firmly establishes that owning real estate can be a key component of building wealth over the long term. But, and it's big but, he strongly cautions against the danger of treating your home as an easily accessible source of funds, taking out multiple mortgages, using home equity loans for non-essential things.
Like a new TV or something.
Exactly, or a car.
Yeah.
That kind of approach can quickly erode any equity you've worked so hard to build. He recommends learning from Robert Kiyosaki and his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Ah, yes. Classic.
What's the main message there when it comes to real estate?
Well, Kiyosaki emphasizes acquiring assets, things that generate income for you, rather than liabilities which cost you money.
Right, assets versus liabilities.
So in the context of a house, it's about viewing it as a potential investment and being strategic about how you leverage its equity, rather than just seeing it as a place to tap into for extra spending money.
And the action item is pretty simple. Listen to the audio version of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He says it's on YouTube.
Easy access. Great resource.
So Commandment 6 shifts our focus to planning for retirement and our children's education now, not later.
Yeah, this often feels like something people put on the back burner, doesn't it?
Totally.
But Wynn defines retirement in a really important way as achieving financial independence, not just reaching a certain age, like 65.
Right.
He points out the very real possibility that many people simply won't be able to truly afford to stop working at 65.
Scary thought.
It is. And the story he shares about the football scholarship really highlights why it's so important to have a backup plan for funding your children's education. You just can't rely solely on uncertain outcomes like scholarships.
Yeah, the what-if scenario.
Yeah.
His solution is quite direct, though. Cut down on your TV time?
Mm-hmm. The great income reducer.
He calls it the great income reducer, to free up valuable time to explore opportunities for building wealth. He points out the significant difference in television viewing habits between millionaires and the average person.
It's really about being intentional, isn't it, with how you spend your time, recognizing that passively consuming entertainment often comes at the expense of engaging in activities that can actively contribute to reaching your financial goals.
Makes sense.
He also encourages reading to your children about financial principles, again mentioning The Richest Man in Babylon.
There it is again.
Which is just a fantastic way to start those important conversations early.
The action item here is practical. Start looking into pre-college savings plans, like 529s.
Yes, a very concrete step for anyone who has or plans to have children.
Okay, Commandment 7. This is all about teaching money management by showing a good example, which really ties into the previous point about educating kids, right?
Absolutely. Wynn stresses that children learn far more about money from watching how their parents handle it
Monkey see, monkey do.
than they do from being lectured about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He encourages teaching financial freedom strategies from a young age, using tangible methods like, having a savings jar or reading age-appropriate children's books about finance.
He also recommends Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow board game. Have you played that?
I have. It's actually quite fun and a really engaging way to learn about investing and different financial concepts.
Cool. And he wisely cautions against getting caught up in trying to keep up with the neighbors.
The Joneses.
Especially since their purchases might be financed by debt. He frames that as a sign of poverty, which is interesting.
Well, he suggests that constantly trying to keep up, particularly if it's fueled by credit, can actually be a sign of lacking true financial independence.
Right.
The long-term impact of teaching your children good financial habits early on, it really can't be overstated. It sets them up for life.
The action item for this commandment: download and listen to the audio of The Strangest Secret with your children. What's the key message of that one?
The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. It's a really powerful motivational audio program. It emphasizes the profound impact of our thoughts.
Mindset again.
Exactly. And the importance of setting clear goals and achieving success in any area of life. Listening to it with your children can help them develop a positive mindset and understand the power of having clear intentions, including, when it comes to their financial futures.
Okay. Commandment number 8 encourages us to invest in our local community. This might seem a little unexpected in a discussion about personal finance.
It might seem so at first, yeah. But Wynn argues that actively supporting local businesses and community organizations actually helps to create a stronger, more vibrant local economy.
Which helps everyone.
Which ultimately benefits everyone who lives there, including you.
He also highlights the personal rewards of giving back to your community, not just financially, but also through your time and active involvement.
Right.
It contributes to a more fulfilling life that goes beyond just, accumulating personal wealth.
He suggests things like supporting your local independent shops, theaters, dry cleaners.
A mom and pop places.
Yeah. And getting involved in community initiatives like sponsoring local sports teams or maybe volunteering at food banks.
It's about recognizing that your own financial well-being is kind of interconnected with the overall health of the community you live in.
Mm-hmm.
And the act of contributing can also bring a significant sense of purpose and satisfaction. It feels good.
The action item here is to read a message to Garcia, which he even provides a link for. What's the main idea behind that short piece? Ah, a message to Garcia. It's a classic short essay, really. It emphasizes the importance of taking initiative, being responsible, and just getting the job done. Completing tasks thoroughly without needing constant supervision or detailed instructions.
Valuable traits.
Incredibly valuable traits in all aspects of life, including building your career, growing a business, and contributing positively to your community.
Okay. Commandment number 9 is very firm. Avoid lottery tickets and all forms of gambling.
Yeah, he's pretty clear on this point. No ambiguity.
He really debunks that common fantasy of winning the lottery as a path to wealth, doesn't he?
He does. He points out the very high percentage of lottery winners who end up in even worse financial situations because they lack the financial understanding to manage that kind of windfall. He's also quite critical of casinos, describing them as businesses specifically designed to profit by exploiting people's emotions and hopes.
The statistics he mentions are quite sobering. Supposedly, 90% of lottery winners are either deceased or bankrupt within just 5 years.
That's the stat he uses, yeah. And over 97% of people who visit casinos end up leaving with less money than they came with. The house always wins, right?
Seems like it.
He stresses that building lasting wealth is the result of acquiring knowledge and wisdom over time. It's not about relying on random chance or those get-rich-quick schemes.
Addiction aspect.
And he warns about the very real dangers of gambling addiction and the devastating impact it can have on individuals and their families. It's serious.
And the action item here is, guess what?
Let me guess. The Richest Man in Babylon.
Once again, emphasize the value of listening to and reading The Richest Man in Babylon. It seems to be a really core text for him.
It really reinforces that central message, doesn't it? That the fundamental principles of sound money management are the true key to building wealth, not luck or speculation.
Commandment number 10 is about becoming a philanthropist. This really feels like something that comes into play after you've achieved a certain level of financial security.
Yeah, Wynn presents philanthropy as a very rewarding stage, a stage where you can use the financial success you've achieved to make a real positive difference in the world.
Leave a legacy.
And potentially leave a lasting legacy, exactly. He offers inspiring examples, like having buildings or libraries named after those who have contributed generously.
It's about looking beyond just your own personal financial needs, right? And considering how you can contribute to the greater good.
Precisely. And the action item is pretty cool, actually. He asks the listener to actually write down 5 organizations they would be interested in donating to someday.
Oh, interesting.
And to start thinking about how they could make that happen, linking it back again to the strangest secret and the power of intention and planning. Start visualizing it now.
Finally, we arrive at commandment number 11, get better every single day.
Foundational.
This really feels like a foundational principle that supports all the others, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He quotes James Allen, highlighting the importance of focusing on self-improvement alongside the desire for better circumstances. You have to become better yourself.
Right.
He defines greatness really broadly, too. It encompasses making a positive impact on your family and your community, not just, achieving major public accolades.
He emphasizes that reading books is a crucial path to personal growth.
Yes.
Expanding your imagination, setting goals that go beyond just getting by. He even encourages listeners to imagine and actually write down their dream travel destinations. Make it real.
And in today's world, with such incredible access to information and resources,
This is precedented.
the opportunities for continuous learning are truly limitless.
Yeah.
The anecdote he shares about his son wanting to learn astrophysics perfectly illustrates this kind of inherent curiosity
Yeah.
and the potential for exciting new opportunities that can arise just from pursuing knowledge, whatever it is.
He acknowledges, though, that building wealth inevitably requires making changes, developing new habits,
Which is hard.
which can be a challenge for many people. But he stresses that change is the only constant in life
True.
and encourages listeners to be willing to do what others are not in order to achieve a different and hopefully better lifestyle.
He brings it right back to the core idea, doesn't he? Practicing these commandments is the way to gain real control over your finances.
And he challenges that old saying, money is the root of all evil,
He flips it.
suggesting that it's often the lack of money that causes more significant problems.
It's an interesting perspective.
The final action item is simple, but incredibly powerful. Keep reading, keep listening, keep taking action every single day.
It's all about that ongoing commitment, isn't it? To learning and, crucially, applying what you learn, not just consuming information.
Exactly. Now, after laying out these 11 commandments, Wynn includes a really interesting section on a millionaire strategy. He calls it building economic pipelines.
Ah, yes, the pipeline analogy. This is really insightful.
Can you explain what that's all about?
Sure. He tells this story, right, about two friends, Matthew and Evan. They were both tasked with the job of carrying water to their village. Standard job.
Okay, carrying buckets.
Exactly. Evan focused solely on the immediate income he could earn by carrying buckets back and forth day in, day out.
Trading time for money.
Precisely. While Matthew, he had a bigger vision. He wanted to build a pipeline that would automate the entire process of getting water to the village.
Ah, okay. So Matthew put in the extra effort. He carried buckets during the day to earn some money.
Had to pay the bills.
But then he dedicated his nights and his spare time to working on building this pipeline, even though there was no immediate financial reward for that pipeline work.
Right. He was focused on a long-term goal, delayed gratification.
And he actually wrote down his goal, didn't he?
He did, which apparently helped him stay motivated even when progress was slow, which it often is with big projects. Meanwhile, Evan was pretty content with his immediate earnings. He didn't really see the long-term value in Matthew's seemingly, slow and uncertain project.
So what happened?
Well, eventually, after 5 long years of hard work, Matthew finally completed his pipeline.
Wow, 5 years.
Yeah, dedication. And it created this consistent, steady stream of passive income for him. The water just flowed, and so did the money.
And then there's that pop quiz question Wynn includes, what is this called?
Right. And the answer, of course, is passive residual income.
That's the core concept he's illustrating here, the goal.
Precisely. Matthew had moved beyond the model of just trading his time directly for money. He had instead created an asset, the pipeline, that generated income automatically.
And he didn't stop there, did he?
No. He even went on to expand his pipeline to serve other villages and eventually even started franchising his system. Smart guy.
And what about Evan?
Well, once the pipeline was up and running, Evan's bucket carrying services weren't really needed anymore.
Ouch.
Yeah. Eventually, Matthew apparently gave him a job maintaining the pipeline, but Evan never really grasped that bigger vision thing.
It's such a powerful illustration, isn't it? The difference between focusing on short-term gains versus having that long-term vision.
And being willing to put in the work now for future rewards.
He then gives some examples of modern-day pipeline builders. Big names like Jay-Z, Michael Dell, Bill Gates, Russell Simmons, Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah, these are all individuals who have created systems, businesses, brands, things that generate ongoing income, often in ways that don't require their direct hour-for-hour involvement anymore.
Right, they built the machine.
Exactly. It really shows how this pipeline strategy can be applied across a huge range of different industries. It's not just about tech or entertainment.
The moral of the story seems really clear. Evan was essentially, well, a slave to his paycheck, always needing to trade his time for money.
Right. While Matthew understood the power of delayed gratification and the long-term benefits of investment of his time and his resources.
So Wynn encourages listeners, no matter where they are in their careers, whether just starting out or seasoned,
Doesn't matter.
to identify something they are passionate about or skilled at, and to start thinking about how they could build their own pipeline alongside their current job.
And he asks that really thought-provoking question, doesn't he? How incredible would it be to have an independent income stream coming in that eventually matches your current salary within the next 5 to 10 years?
Imagine that. It's a powerful goal. He even provides some very practical examples of potential pipelines based on different skills.
Yeah, like if you have a knack for math or you're good at growing roses, whatever it is.
Right. And he shares his own experiences with building websites and creating digital products through niche marketing, showing it's possible.
And the final takeaway from this section is really encouraging, I think. It's that the potential of the human mind to conceive and build these kinds of economic pipelines is truly limitless.
If you put your mind to it. Finally, WIN includes a very comprehensive list of resources.
Oh yeah, pages of them.
Including direct links to books like No Fear Network Marketing, Build a Successful Blogging Business, Think and Grow Rich, and of course, The Richest Man in Babylon Again.
And loads of others on everything from affiliate marketing to candle making to becoming a life coach.
He even includes his personal contact information, offering to help.
Yeah, the sheer number and variety of resources he provides really indicates a strong commitment, I think, to giving listeners practical tools and information they can use to take concrete action.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, the core message from all these principles seems to be that building lasting financial well-being isn't about getting lucky or finding some quick fix.
No shortcuts.
It's about consciously adopting a set of disciplined habits and thinking strategically to create a strong and sustainable foundation for your financial future.
It's really a marathon, not a sprint, isn't it? It requires consistent effort, a commitment to continuous learning,
Getting better every day.
and a willingness to prioritize that long-term security and freedom over maybe immediate gratification.
So here's something to really think about as we finish. Can you identify just one unnecessary debt that you could eliminate starting today?
Just one.
Or even just one small step you could take right now towards beginning to build your own economic pipeline?
With that first small action.
Really consider how applying even just one of these key commandments could start to shift your financial trajectory.
And we really encourage you to go back and explore the wealth of resources that Ken Wynn has provided in his work. See what resonates most with your current situation.
Find something that clicks.
And take that very first step. Don't just think about it, do it.
Thanks so much for taking this deep dive with us. We'll catch you next time.